So much for his boxing career. When he got in with a decent boxer, he fought for the British heavyweight title. I think it was the Commonwealth title. I'm not sure which one it was. So he fought for the title, the British heavyweight title, I think it was. But he was good, John Elgarden. He was exceptional. So he got in the ring when he started the box, and he just looked out of sorts straight away. You could see there was like a man against the kid, and you could see the fear in his face. People I know there, Chino's passed away. He put 10 grand on him that night, and 3 or 4 of the lads were telling me from Redcar went to like businessmen. They said, "What a fucking shithouse big fella." He said he just gave up. He said he was fighting, he wasn't even getting hurt or nothing. There was no marks on him, and out he just went like that, like cowards do when they're getting beat. He turned his back like that, and the referee had to stop the fight in the 6th round. What an embarrassment! So he never lived that down. And after that, he had one more fight, and he got beat in the very first round, and he got knocked out unconscious, sparked unconscious. Never boxed after that. So that he had 10 fights. And that was his record, you know, so he never was this great man. Not could have beat Mike Tyson, not could have beat, what was he called? I want to beat Muhammad Ali. Hold on. I can't think of his name now. He'll come back to me. So, yeah, he beat him as well. And one of the greatest boxers of all time, Larry Holmes, that was it. Larry Holmes, he could have beat Larry Holmes. I went, Larry Holmes, so 9 years or something, he held the belt. He never gave up, I bottled it. But getting back to him being the bully, he also went to a pub in, I think it was Wigan. He went in there, and it was owned by a rugby player, ex-rugby player. He tried it on with him, the lad fucking smashed him all over the pub, threw him out the club, and come on, he shouted at him, he just fucking walked off, shit himself. Then he had a fight with another kid, the lad contacted me, he said he had a fight with my dad, Brian. He said he threw a 3-punch combination at my dad, and my dad fucking hit him with the left hook, knocked him clean out in the doorway of the pub in Wakefield. And then another lad filled him in who was a farmer. He smashed him all over as well. So there was half a dozen people filled him in. But when he was in them parks and saying, "Come and suck this," and let me come and sit on this and all that to people, he went worse than that. He started living under a library. I think it was in Wakefield. He lived under the library, and he was in there. And when he was in there, and he was coming out in the street, and he was completely off his head. Then he was drinking anything, bloody tapes or anything. So he was coming out, and he was peeing in the bus stop one day. And the little girl started crying when she seen him, and he went, "Fucking shut up, and I'll fucking kill you. I'll fucking kill you, little bastard. Shut her up," he was shouting. This little kid, it was only a little kid, a little girl like this. And I can prove this one, because it's all in the papers. When you put it in, you can see it. He was convicted of 25 different offences over a period of 3 months, where he had to plead guilty to every one, because he was on camera, and he was on there screaming at the little kid. A woman was in the bus stop with her daughter. He was doing it again. He said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Go around the back or something." He just stood there going, and pissing all over the floor. And she was with the daughter, and the daughter there was distraught. It's in the paper, you can read it. I'm not making it up. It's in the paper, it's Wakefield. You can just put his name in, Paul Sykes, and you'll see what he's convicted of. So if that's not a sexual offence, what isn't? Flashing yourself to young kids in the playground, asking young lads for sex in the park, beating young kids up in the park. But them young kids he beat up, come back on him, because what goes around comes around. So he was in this skip one day. Yes, a skip. In a skip. And they're coming to these kids, and they set the skip alight, and they burnt him alive, roasted him alive. He was on fire in the skip, they had to put him out. So he was like nearly killed him. So his days were numbered then, because everyone was turning against him. But when he was threatening like a little girl, to kill a little girl, and that people were sick of him then, so they all put letters into the courts and everything. So when he went up to court, the court said, "Right, they give him, you said you're bad out of Wakefield, leave here now." So he got an ASBO order to keep him away from the people of Wakefield, and everyone signed a petition to get him out of the area, because he was an absolute nuisance, pissing in shops and things like that, and just being disgusting. But as him being the top boxer, he could have a fight, but he used that to bully people. And not all boxers who can fight, any top boxer will tell you, you use your hands in the ring with people. You don't fight in Joe Public, because your hands are lethal weapons. You know how to fight, but he used that to his advantage to gain, to rape kids in jail. And this is the kicker where you're going to be dumbfounded. The next one I tell you on. So yeah, he was doing these things, and it's all in the papers. You can read it. He's trying to paper over the cracks, skate around the house, as he calls it, trying to get out of it. But they're in the papers that he was convicted of 25 offences, and he was bad out with the whole city for doing what he did. So another one to come.